Pudding. The world's best snack solely because it is one of the few edible substances on this planet you can have forcefully shoved down your gullet right after you've had your tonsils ripped out of your throat. I speak from experience. But it's also the last word my great-grandfather ever said to me. When I was younger, I used to go back to Arkansas. I'd go back and visit family members. Well, one day, I got up, got hurried, and I got ready as fast as I could. Went outside to see Papa waiting in his big white pickup truck. He and I had a tradition where if I was ready on time, we'd go to breakfast at this old diner. That day I was on time, so we went. We went in, we sat down, I ordered my short stack with a side of bacon and a Sprite. He ordered this mountain of carbs. But today was a little different. Today I was audience to the shortest, quite possibly most important speech of my life. Puddin', you were born into a family that serves. I did my time in cockpits, but not everyone is so lucky. It is your duty in this world to find what you are good at, what you are not. Where you succeed, where you fail, where you laugh, where you cry. It will take time. It may take your whole life. But the day you figure it out, your service will find you. On that day, you will grow into a man. On that day, I will address you accordingly. I was 9 when he said that. I had no idea what he meant, but I hung on to the words for some reason. March 10th of 2018, I received a little incentive to do some research. That day I found out I wouldn't exactly have the chance to talk to him again, so I decided to listen. Dissecting what he said, I came across one major question. What is service? We all know the service of a Marine slinging lead in the face of death. We all know the sacrifices he makes. You don't need to be an Einstein to know that. But what is service? I want to get past the definition. I want to get down to what service meant. I wanted to boil it down to its essence. Doing some research, I stumbled upon something. Using a reliable resource, that's total nonsense. I use the internet, because we all know how reliable the internet is. But Google's secondary definition of service, a system supplying a public needs such as transport, communicate. Okay, close but no cigar. Sure, that'll work. So, the action of helping or doing work for someone. Well, let's dig into this a little bit. To make this a universal meaning, there's one pesky word in there. It's work. I don't think you have to work to serve someone. So, we're going to take that word, we're going to change work into something. So now the universal meaning of service, the action of helping or doing something for someone. So let's put this into action. Let's say you're at a Starbucks drive-thru. You decide to be that bright light in someone's day and pay for that ticket behind you. You roll up to the window, you hand the clerk your card, say, "Can you run the ticket behind me, please?" They say, "Absolutely, swipe, swipe, here's your card." You drive away as fast as you can, legally. You drive away as fast as you can legally. I'm not condoning illegal acts. But did you do something for someone? That counts. After that, I started thinking, well, what else can service be applied to? What about a waitress? What about the young lady who endures assaults to her moral character and intelligence from people she has never met before because a simple human error caused her to bring them the wrong entree? What about that waitress? Did she serve? Did you get that? Pun intended. Did you get that, man? Okay, this guy got it. We can move on. But in all seriousness, did she do something for someone? That counts. What about that Marine's family? A mother and a son standing beside that Marine and halfway across the planet in support, hoping and praying that he comes home safely. Standing beside families of other soldiers in the exact same situation. What about that family? Did they serve? What about a youth group leader? Someone who takes a group of individuals, middle schoolers, high schoolers, young adults, from Maine to Houston, Texas to help with hurricane cleanup? What about those students in that group? What about those kids that look someone affected in the eye and say, I'm here to help because I care? What about them? Do they serve? What about an electrician? The individual who comes into that family's home gives light to their newborn son so that when she leaves for work, when he leaves for deployment for the last time that day, they can see their son's face. What about that electrician? Did he serve? What about an accountant, the mechanic, the coal miner, the construction worker, the teacher? Give me someone who doesn't serve some way, somehow. You, sir. What is your job title? What gets you up in the morning even though you sometimes don't want it to? Supply chain management. So you make sure that when someone orders whatever it may be, that they get that product. You make sure that everyone in whatever warehouse you're managing has a job to do so that they can earn money for their family. Is that not a service? What about you, madam? What is your job title? Oh, Lordy. What's your job description? What do you do? Okay, so you make sure that people are staying healthy. You make sure that when they walk out, they know everything that they can do to make sure that they have a better life in front of them. Is that not helping or doing something for someone? We all serve. Even the students in the room, for example. I mean, think about it. You walk into the doors of a public school, what do you see? I see hundreds, thousands of young adults pushing themselves to the limit to test themselves to one day be a resource to their community. If anything, students serve each other when we forget there's homework and a classmate reminds us. Now, that is a service. But what's the relevance? Why do you care? It's a weekday night. You're thinking, oh, God, why me? Just finish up. Did you know approximately 53% of the American workforce, according to the Conference Board, are unable to derive satisfaction from their profession? Over half of you in here that work cannot honestly tell me that when you go to work in the morning, you will be happy. Under my own studies, over years of going to work camps, over 90% of participants, when asked, have said to some varying degree, work camps, mission trips make my life better because I know that at the end of the day when I leave, I put a smile on someone's face. I connected with and helped someone I don't even know. Now, let's get scientific with it for a second. Homo sapiens, humans, are defined by science as social creatures. Tribal creatures, more specifically. We derive pleasure from the services that we provide in our community. Do you think that that's why those individuals that know they've made an impact have found that satisfaction? If it is, then shouldn't services that we provide every day make us happy? Isn't it the general satisfaction of the United States populace that we should be worried about? If it is, why isn't it? If you agree, then why is it that you are more than likely not abiding by that construct? Service is a way to grow. It's a way to grow as a friend, as a family member, as a critical component in our society. And according to Papa, it's a way to grow into a young man. Service is what makes you a better person. It's what made you a better person yesterday. It's what will make you a better person today, and it's what will make you a better person tomorrow. When I left Papa's house for the last time, he gave me a big old hug and said, "I love you, Puddin'." And he waved as I drove away in the backseat of my grandmother's car. is the last word I recall hearing my great-grandfather ever say to me. I know my service. There was one word that I have not addressed that he's told me. Your service will find you. I know mine. I'll serve in the United States Air Force. I will push myself in the field of leadership as I serve others, as we serve our country. I know what I'm bound to do. But to the young man who thinks that he needs to serve his country to become a real man, you will. You join the force, serve in the face of terror. But you have just as much of an impact by teaching a class of 26 kids how to read. To the young girl who wants to become an astronaut, you can absolutely push the boundaries of what we know in the field of science, or you can make just as much of a difference by training your nearest convenience store clerk. Your service, but you choose to find service in. Some of us haven't found it yet. Those of us who have don't know it. I found my service. What about you? Thank you.